cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So today I wanted to do a video, and I'm not sure, I may have done this video before, but it was on my mind, and so I decided I wanted to do it today. I wanted to do it right now. I'm trying to actually record a few things today because with the birthday coming up and a lot of plans for the entire weekend, I don't know that I'm gonna have time to record, and I don't want to stop the momentum because you guys have been supporting the channel so much. So I've been asked, what is the main difference between the California Youth Authority and the California Department of Corrections? For those of you who aren't aware, especially those of you from out of state, out of the country, because I've been getting a lot of support outside of the United States lately, so thank you guys, appreciate you guys. I was gonna move my glasses. Do you see that? Weird. The California Youth Authority was actually under the umbrella of the California Department of Corrections. However, it was basically state prison for juveniles in California. And then the California Department of Corrections houses the adults. Now they call themselves California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. I did not enter CDCR, I entered the CDC. So I always refer to it as CDC. If I had to choose one single difference that was there's no question about the difference between the CDC and the CYA, what it was. It is and was, or maybe it was because CDC, CYAs are all shut down now. It was the hands off or no hands policy. Let me say that. It's not hands off. The no hands policy. In the California Department of Corrections, as far as I can only speak for Raza, how it was for the Mexicans. And I know as far as the Mexicans from Southern California, in the California Department of Corrections, when you were on a level 4, I believe it's level 3s as well, there is zero tolerance for fist fighting. I made videos about that. Regarding the blacks and Mexicans, Southern Mexicans, why Southern Mexicans don't fist fight. They don't fist fight each other. It's not allowed. And so if there is a problem between two Southerners in the California Department of Corrections, and both of those men don't want to let it go, they both approach who they need to and say, it's got to go down. There's no fixing it. They're both going to be strapped up with knives. They're going to go handle their business wherever they handle it, whether they, say, hey, we're going to meet on the yard or wherever they're going to meet, but they're going to meet up and they're going to stab the shit out of each other. Maybe one dies, maybe both, maybe neither, but that's how it has to be handled. There was zero hands. You're not going to fist fight somebody. I was schooled, if it can be handled with your fists, it can be handled with your words. It's not serious. And people, oh, that's coward shit. Why is it coward shit? They say, oh, how come you can't go from the shoulders? Oh, they are. They definitely are. From the shoulders with knives. That's why I always trip out when people say, oh, they can't go heads up. Yeah, they are. Heads up with knives. See, there's people that have been in prison 30 years and you come and your little ego, your little feelings get hurt about something, and you figure maybe you're even a good fighter, and you figure you got that advantage so you can just punch on people. No. You punch on somebody, they're gonna punch holes in you. Doesn't work that way. So that's the no hands policy in the CDC. And again, it's because there are people there who have been there, who have businesses, who are conducting business, making money, and you are not going to come and because your little feelings got hurt, ruin what they got going on. You may get in a disagreement with somebody and figure you want to punch on them, and then the yard goes down. Then they decide to lock the place down, but the next day was supposed to be visiting, and you just fucked off a whole lot of money. A lot of people had stuff planned for that weekend. And because of your little feelings, it got canceled. Doesn't always happen for a fist, but I'm just saying these things can take place. The administration can do whatever the fuck they want. Now, let's go to the California Youth Authority. And the California Youth Authority, if your little feelings get hurt and you don't like somebody, what they had to say, shit, you don't even like the way they look, you can walk right up to him and punch that motherfucker in his face, his throat, his ears, his fucking eyes, whatever you want. You could do that. If you think somebody has a smart mouth in YA, you can slap the fuck out of that smart mouth and let him prove to you that he's really that guy his mouth is fronting him off to be. YA was one of the most brutal places I've ever been. And I've been to some of the worst prisons in California. And YA by far was the most brutal because it was really, you had homies you were cool with, right? And you guys are going to ride together against other homies. When it comes time for a ride, everybody gets together, does their thing, and then they go back to their ranflas. But you had a lot of dudes in YA that were into constantly testing people mentally as well as physically. It was pretty brutal and sadistic. You had staff that loved the game. The worst staff I've ever been around, I would have to say, as far as mentally, was in the California Youth Authority. It was a horrible experiment. It was where they made monsters. Now, we're going to go back and forth with it, right? I can tell you, people in the comments can tell you, people in prison that watch this channel, right now they're in their cell and they're going to agree with me. There are dudes that hit the yard in California prisons, and you know that vato ain't all that. See, but you can't expose him like that the way you could in YA. And YA, you just expose, man, that vato ain't shit. Watch this. You can call him out. Hey, let's come here, homie. Let's go. I want to check this shit out with you. In the California Department of Corrections, you can't do that. There's no bullying allowed. Why? They were bullies. In the California Department of Corrections, it's not allowed. No one is allowed to bully any Southerners within the car or without, or outside. Let's not say without. Within or outside of that ranfla, nobody's going to be bullying nobody, at least physically. Has that had a negative impact? At times in the California Department of Corrections, it has. Should it be removed? Absolutely not. But there are times when, you know, and it's usually the ones that talk the most. You always be wary of the ones that have the most to say. The ones that they're going to tell you every day how good they fight. When the shit hits the fan, they're probably going to run. But if you've been around, you know that. It's the vatos that are quiet and watch, that listen. That's the one you want to be next to when the shit jumps off. So I just wanted to put that out there today. To me, the biggest difference between the California Youth Authority and the California Department of Corrections. Neither place is a place anybody should really want to be. California Youth Authorities are shut down now. All the facilities they had. I don't know what they're doing with the youth nowadays. I had heard they were putting them in juvenile hall. I don't think that's good. I think instead of shutting down all of the youth authorities, they should have shut down all the dorms. Absolutely. The dorms were, you know, like Paso and Nellis and Preston. They should should have kept open the ones with cell living, and they should have overhauled, got rid of every staff member that was there. I don't care. Got rid of all of them and replaced them with people who had training, clinical training, counseling training, something. But they made the decision to do what they did. California Youth Authority was a place, it was a breeding ground for killers that would, most would excel. Unfortunately, I have to use that word. Most would excel within the prison walls once they entered the California Department of Corrections, because they had been honed to be prone to violence, quick to violence. Whatever took the place of the California Youth Authority, hopefully it's better, man. But at the end of the day, my thing is always the same. Hopefully the cycle breaks somehow, some way, and people stop thinking that crime and the joint is cool. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out of here.